Welcome to the grim, lawless 23rd century, following the fall of U.S. Gov and mass depopulation of major cities at the hands of the multi-trillionaire de Huberton family. Baptized in radioactive hellfire, a rare mutation makes Turbo a fiercely pumped scrapper, haunted by specters from her past, surviving the post-apocalyptic wasteland one deathmatch pit fight at a time. But when she rescues the stunning trophy girl, the unlikely duo are thrust into a harrowing odyssey, evading marauding berserkers at every turn on their way to the ultimate showdown as they uncover the horrific truth behind the fall of humanity.
Welcome to episode 119 of Making Turbo Pit Fighter Indie Comic with myself, Kurt, and my partner in crime, Jake Jacobs. Jake, we have 955 subscribers so far. So I just wanted to take a moment and just thank everybody who is a subscriber. And of course, if you're not, you're missing out. So go ahead and do what you know you're supposed to do here on YouTube. But our goal, my goal is once we hit 1,000 people, I'm going to be able to feel very blessed, if you will, because, you know, that's a lot of people to be trying to entertain.
Yeah, thanks to everybody. Welcome to another episode. I'm over here doing the pencils, and I think Kurt is doing some inks there. You got a couple different things going on.
Yeah, I got the inking going, but I do have something to share. But go ahead.
Yeah, so if this is your first time, we're making Turbo Pit Fighter, a sci-fi comic, post-apocalyptic story featuring featuring this enhanced fighter. She's a superhero to me. She's a heroine. She's a muscular female heroine, and we talk about the making of the comic. We talk about our other pursuits. We talk about comics in general, and we do this once a week in split screen, and we recommend to other people who have lives and jobs and responsibilities, maybe a couple kids, block out some time once a week, get a friend, get some camera equipment like we got, and make yourself a podcast. And this way you stay regular. And, we're making progress. I'm over here on page 19 of issue 2 in pencils, and Kurt is inking issue 1, page
24.
24. He's getting through.
Of 28 that are already penciled. We have 28 pages already pencils for these are Jake Jacob pencils from 1999 or 2000. I can't remember.
Probably before that. But that's when I sent them to you. And if you see we have 114 episodes or 19 episodes, whatever we're up to. We've been meeting once a week. You could do it too. If you're a professional comic artist, God bless you, and you're paying your bills, and you do this all day long. But a lot of people that do this are weekend warriors, or they just do it in the cracks of life. They do it when the kids go to sleep. They do it when the wife is getting her hair done. Whenever you can. This is definitely a way to do it. So we are not just developing our one comic here, Turbo Pit Fighter #1, but and by the way, this is not going to be the final cover. The final cover is going to be full color, but black and white insides, and the podcast here just took on a life of its own. We have other things going on where we're doing collabs with other people. So you can check out our other channels, but we'll mention those at the very end. Kurt, I wanted to show you what my printed copies look like. Here I got my shipment. I got my shipment, and just so people know, this cost a little over $100 to get. I think $118 with shipping.
Damn, that looks good.
And yeah, they look good. I mean, I love the printing. The paper's good. This is a self cover. But I'm going to complain about myself for a second here.
Oh,
This cover,
okay.
I don't know why this cover is so light. It's like light grayish. Look at the darks inside. And so,
Yeah.
this is me. I sent this off like this, and I guess I didn't really check the overall. I have seen this darker. Like I even printed this out on my own laser, at a smaller size, which you can
Yeah.
see, right here. This printed out too dark. You know,
Yeah. But
so you literally have to go in and just and like lighten up the images. You save a special
but
copy of
that's
this.
on your home laser, right? Your
This is on
laser
my
printer,
home
right?
laser, but
Yeah.
this cover, the way I sent it to the printer, because obviously they're printing with nice, values, nice lights and darks here, but not the cover. And so I'm looking at
Huh.
some changes. I'm going to just be like strengthening up the contrast here, and I think we're going to go into this masthead. There's a couple of things here. I mean, here you can barely read where it says pages 1 to 12. This is the
Right.
cover of our turbo teaser, which is basically just a pin up that we put a pin up front and back. This is not strong. I love the outlines, and we made this logo because I thought we were going to replace everything eventually. We have this long, and then we also have it stacked, at turbo with pit fighter underneath. But it's not strong at all. It's really kind of wishy-washy. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to bring out the blacks here in the crowd. But this isn't good. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to reprint. I printed out 40 copies. My wife asked for one, so I sent her one. She's down in Florida right now, and so I have all my other copies. I'm going to be shipping them, whatever. Somebody asked for one on my Instagram, but I think this might just be the real limited edition. We'll see. If I get through these, then I'll get some more. But we might be on the next teaser by then. And
Yeah, we have to do an exchange. So I'm going to send you a copy tomorrow because of my version, and then I
yeah,
want a copy of your version, whatever it is, your
right.
version,
Look,
and
folks, at the
then
difference. Look at the difference. So Kurt went to the local copy shop, and he's forcing that to 8.5, 11. And mine is trimmed. Mine is custom trimmed. So that wasn't
you
any
said,
extra.
yeah, are you 7? Are you 7 by 10? Is that what you
No,
went with?
no, this is oversized. This is magazine size. But I just trimmed off.
Oh, but you trimmed off this
Yeah,
this stuff
yeah.
here.
I
Okay,
trimmed it off,
all
which
right.
is yeah, which means I had to crop the image files he gave me. But I like it like this. I think we might make the final comic oversized like this, like magazine size, but
Oh, I
trimmed.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. I think it might work that way. We'll probably do it both ways eventually because I have it
Oh
here.
yeah.
I have it here on an ash can size, so this would be smaller than a comic. So a real comic would be somewhere between this and this, and you look at it, you see, the details all here. You can get it all in. You just, you're missing a lot, because we do have some very fine line, detailed stuff going on. And, plus this is too dark. Plus this rubs, you can see the tone of rubs. But yeah, no, this is professionally printed and I'm psyched. I love this. I'm going to be doing this with Pearl White Malvady pretty soon. Another project that I'm working on with my school kids. But you just have to be aware, when you send this stuff off, did you punch up your contrast? Do you have uniformity? Looking through the pages here, I'm probably going to lighten this one up. I mean, I don't know if this is a variance on the printer's end. I'm assuming not. But, some of these lights and darks, they're going back and forth. So that's one observation. But yeah, really, really cool to have the teaser in hand. And next time I go to a con, I want to be, handing a couple of these things out, trading people for merch, maybe selling some. Some cons I went to, I actually ended up selling some in person, believe it or not. But it's not about making $3. It's about getting the word out and getting people to
Well, it's
check out the
also a part
podcast.
of our indie creator exchange. So the idea from the beginning was we do an exchange with another indie creator on a book that they really are passionate about, whether it's something they're featuring and trying to get off the ground now, or something they've done in the past and they're proud of, and we get to sit down and we do indie creator exchange interviews, which we are getting back on track. We have this coming Tuesday, we have Jason Schoonover for Gut and Ghost. I'm going to flash up something up here. Then we have on Friday, 3 Men in a Comic and our indie creator exchange with Rave Sensation YouTube channel, Dave
Dan.
Snook. Dan, sorry.
Dan.
So much to remember. So many people's names. Everybody should just be Bob from here on
Dan
out.
the man.
But
Yeah.
Dan, man, yeah.
Looking forward to
Oh,
that.
it's way overdue. Way overdue. And we're actually going to be just to tease people. That was a lot more organized, but here I got
What we're gonna cover.
We're going to be talking. Three of us are going to be talking about Alex Turbin's random access number one. So we're excited to get that back on the trail. But we have plenty of other people. We're giving all of our first round indie comic exchange, creator exchange interviewers, people like Pat. Yeah, check in. Pat Higgins, Matt King, Tim Hoffman, Gautam Shioran, Eli Schwab, Adam Lemna, Chance Priest, Tanner Hurley, Roland Mann. So you're going to be getting emails real soon about whether you got something to exchange or how we want to go forward on it. But we're really excited. Moving along, and one of the nicest things that I'm experiencing right now is Jake's off for the summer, so we can start jamming in some weekday interviews instead of holding everyone off until Sundays and stuff. So we're gonna see what we can accomplish for the rest of the summer till the end. So bear with us too, because we are just a Sunday afternoon organization here.
Right. And so that's the update on our creator exchange. The update on our flip throughs is that we also have our series of comics that influence, where we just flip through cool comics. I haven't heard that you picked up anything cool on your vacay, but I'm still not in acquisition mode. I'm still in getting through the pile mode. So,
good. That's good to hear. No, yeah. I've been laying low. Just speaking of vacation, I just wanted to share with everybody. I took some time away. The wife and I, we love going out into the wilds. We went out to the Eastern Shore, Maryland, Chesapeake. And I took some time and a whole bunch of just color pens and markers and the likes, and found this really nice park down the road. And I just sat in a nice little chair with a nice hot bottle of water and got some just life drawing. So this is also, I show off my life drawing pad from, going down to the Delaware Contemporary and drawing naked people. And this is the other side you want to do as an artist. If you're developing as an artist, grab a pen and a piece of paper, go on your back porch and just draw your backyard immediately. That's your homework assignment.
Well, if you're an artist,
so much.
If you're an artist, you're always developing anyway. So you stay in practice or get up to speed. But look at that one. Looking at
this was
things
fun.
and drawing them.
Black and white.
Yep, it really works the muscles. It really works the muscles that you need to work if you want to be good and fast. For comics, you got to be drawing figures, drawing backgrounds, drawing everything. Our Crumb used to look out for all the little details, like the wires, the overhead wires, and the antennas on buildings and the water towers and all that kind of stuff. It's great.
Yep.
I've been sketching. Kurt has charged me with doing sketching and writing in my spare time. So I'll have I'll have a lot of stuff to show, um, but in no particular order. Sketches of Elevena. This is a sketchbook that I've been working on for a while. I'm going to try to get to the new stuff here, but here's some notes that flow. We're
Oh yeah, that's great.
yeah, we're talking about the bullet points a lot. Those are the bullet points that appear in the very last bonus pages here of Turbo Teaser 2, where we're launching the End of the World timeline. We have announced our Substack project, and that we're both collaborating on. And these are kind of like the subcategories of the timeline of the different things that happen on the way to the megapocalypse that causes the wasteland world that all these characters are living in. So, did a little bit on the sentience, and I've been developing this sentient character who is going to have her own prequel, her own backstory when she's
Oh
young.
boy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, and I'm designing her sentient, what do we call this, avatar, her body, her presentation, her outward physical presentation as this kind of like plant looking thing, because she is a plant. She
What?
she's a plant. She's not she's not a plant based organism. She was planted, and so here is a sketch of Elevena, and I want to get Here's a sketch. See this good looking guy here?
Whoa. Yeah. Who's that?
So he's gonna be the what's Larry Flint? No, Al Goldstein? No,
Yeah.
what's who am I thinking
Hugh
of?
Hefner.
Hugh,
Hugh
no,
Hefner.
no, Bob Gucci.
Bob Guccione.
He's gonna be he's gonna be the Bob Guccione. So the Bob Guccione guy is he is a dehuberton, and he's one of the male young dehubertons. He's not the unbeknownst one, but he is the other brother, cousin, whatever that will be the one behind the advent of the pleasure bots, and that is a really big bullet point, which is going to spur decades of gender war in this timeline, and so that's going to be a very interesting avenue to go down. But as you might imagine, this Guccione de Huberton guy is a sex fiend, right? Like a sex addict and a total sadomasochistic, but also multi-trillionaire a-hole who, I mean, just imagine like Elon Musk, what he's doing for Twitter. This guy's doing for pleasure bots that is going to affect society in so many ways. So what happens is, see, I'm working backwards here now, right? Remember, Kurt, when I asked you the question, who's going to be behind the flying peas that alerts Esoterra's parents to pick her up and pull her out of danger when she's just a newborn? Well, I worked backwards. Old Lady de Huberton is going to be a sentient, but before that, because sentients are over 100 years old, 150 years old, maybe 200 years old or more. um, when she's young, she is going to be a plant. She is going to be the woman who marries the Bob Guccione character, and it's going to be one of his wives, but the main wife for a long time. And her plan all along is to infiltrate. But what she has to do to infiltrate is she has to be the marriage partner and the sex partner of this twisted, deviant, sadomasochistic guy who builds all these robots, and he has all these like perverse fantasies. So she has to endure all that in order to get status to be somebody who is a sentient. That means no expense is spared to keep her alive, because she totally gained the trust of the de Hubertons and the Guccione guy, and he left her in the will with complete trust and complete access to all of the inner workings. But she's not blood. and she's married in, and while she's undergoing all of that suffering as this like just like ravaged partner of this guy over years and decades, and has kids with him and everything, she also develops the ability to carry on telepathy, to carry on astral plane, and actually that's how she gets through. So I have all these notes on her. She's going to be a very interesting character, and I haven't even started to sketch her when she's young, because when you're sentient, all you are basically is a bunch of organs being kept afloat in like a jar, but inside of this like metallic avatar, or this fiberglass avatar. But she's going to be in like all of this kind of transcendental existence. She drifted above good evil, questions of mankind, elemental levels. She was away for years fighting existential battles in DNA code on the phase plane. Earthly concerns melted away. All this kind of notes, and look, it goes on. Look at this. Look when you turn the page, right? It goes on like this, on and on and on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got a lot of stuff on that. That's going to be a very interesting, because she's so important, to the resistance. She's going to be how Esoterra, gets started, and how she's guided, right? This newborn who's going to be born with this great potential for genetic enhancement is born to like this crack mom. And instead, she's guided into the hands of these super scientist couples that are on the cutting edge of, nanotechnology breakthroughs. And so that's going to be the story of Esoterra, young Esoterra. And of course, Elevena is Esoterra's daughter, so that's going to be another generation down the road. Here's one of the enhanced Super Squadron females for Elevena
Cool.
Super Squadron.
Wow.
I didn't identify her yet, but I have names for the first five. And here's another one right here. I think I just sketched this out the other night. So these are going to be like muscular women that are tasked with, when Elevaina's around, she's going to take five women that are kind of like her contemporaries or a little bit older. Like Elevaina's only in her young teens when she's going to college, but these are kind of like her college age mates. And then they volunteer to get enhanced. So the first one's going to be Charvel, and then there's going to be a couple others, including Pitch Blend, who is going to rescue the little girl in the company man story. So all this kind of stuff is, tying into each other. But there are questions that I need to ask, Kurt from time to time, and I jot them down too. And this is a sketch that I made last night of this is going to be the scientist that guides young Esoterra through through the research. Yeah, when all of the university professors all take an interest in Esoterra's powers, because Esoterra has no scientific explanation for how she does what she does, and so this scientist is just beginning the process. And I think her name is, I forget her name, Elizabeth. Her name is something EE, because Esoterra is an E and Elevena is an E, so her name is also an E, but I think it's Elisandra. Yeah, Elisandra something. And I drew her here very cheery, because she's a very upbeat person, but something really terrible is going to happen. Here's a sketch of Charvel that I put on my Instagram yesterday. I think, or did I put it on my Instagram? No, I think I put it on the Bronx Art Twitter. So it's art_Bronx, and I'm gonna put it on the Instagram. But this is what you were talking about, right? All these kind of notes that go around it.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So first of her kind, Charvel is going to be Ame no Tsubasa. She's going to be the first one that volunteers for human trials of Elevena's enhancement using the polywave irradiation. That means the wave bombardment from not just heat, but also light, but also sound, also magnetism, gravity, to really change the DNA of humans. So DNA reprogrammed, cell elasticity, dynamic physical and brain ability. 6 months after enhancement, she founds the rectifiers, the distress response team that will be extracting enhancement candidates beyond the green zone. We have she'll also be instrumental in neutralizing arms dealers for the dehubridins. So she goes out to arms dealers, that are working with the D-hubs, and she bribes them basically to to work for the resistance instead. She uses radio Ps and fuel cells. She creates a distribution network to try to get these arms dealers, into the resistance rather than working for the dehubridins. Um, she barters. She has a rule though: no weapons and no P-bots. She has a good success rate, 40 to 60%, before the surrender, which of course is going to be the pivotal moment when Elevena surrenders and goes to prison. And that's going to be about 10 years before Turbo was born. And so Turbo, no, maybe like 5 years before Turbo was born, because Turbo's going to meet her in prison when she's about 15. Right. So I'm just trying to work out these timeline, because once you start doing dates, then everything's got to, you got to do the math on all the dates so everything matches, right? And here's a sketch I made of one of the super squadron females, who all have names. One of them's going to be named Shadow. One's going to be named Pitchblende. One's named Charvel. I forget the other names, but have them all in a text edit file that's coming to you sometime soon whenever you tell me you need more text. So we're working on our end of the world timeline. We got a lot of ideas brewing and percolating, and one challenge for me and Kurt in our collaboration on the Substack is going to be me giving him what he needs to press the send button so that our subscribers get the installment updates. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be like really, really great use of my time when I'm like just like driving and doing stuff, so I can think about how to update all these bullet points and all these sub topics, subplots.
Yeah, so the previous episode, no, one of the previous episodes is episode 116, link down below directly to get you there. It was our Substack special, so if you haven't seen that, it'll give you even more give you more an understanding of why we're approaching this content that Jake is just oozing out, and my own reasoning in helping people build in the indie comics and arts in general an audience and a steady audience in order to keep connection there and also then profit from and that's really what it all gets down to.
The
But
readers are the ones
real
that
truth of it. Exactly, and the true and the real true test is how consistent you can be. Now, I hear a lot with the people that I work with because my other half of business is working with artists in as creatives to help them, get a presence online and draw attention to what they're doing, and then obviously get a return on that investment. But the thing that I find so curious nowadays is, everybody I meet creativity wise has this well they're pulling up from. And since we've been really moving along in the last 2 years plus right now with making Turbo, has constantly been injecting more and more and more content, which I have a hard time keeping straight. And I'm sure our viewers here are kind of like, yeah, I keep hearing him talk about Elevate. I keep hearing him talk about, these certain things. Well, now you're going to have somewhere we can point you to. So there'll be history, world building,
stories. You can read
you
a
get
story.
straight. Well, it's a blog and a newsletter. That's really the kicker with Substack. And so when you subscribe to it, you'll get right into your email, the next installment, if you will. So it kind of helps you keep, building along from there. But the number one thing is to keep Jake moving as this flow is coming, and we're so product driven that I find that we as creatives end up stopping the flow in order to manufacture something as a product to get out there to profit from, which is necessary. But I really truly believe that you should keep that flow going, even if it's a little trickle on the ride home. As you were saying, you have sketch pads in the desk at work at school, and when you're doing a test, obviously you don't have to be doing anything other than making sure people aren't copying each other.
No, it's the
You could doodle,
PD.
you could doodle it.
It's professional development. That's when unfortunately the taxpayer money is going towards like some fad that they're going to have the whole staff get trained on. And
Right, right.
right, and if I don't have any papers to grade, which I usually bring to those, I mean, everybody, no matter what your job is, you get pulled into these meetings, and you're,
Right.
and your eyes are rolling, you're bored out of your skull, you don't have enough coffee to stay awake, and so sometimes I bring a pad, to doodle, but like once I have stuff to grade, I'm usually grading in there. But it be beginning of the year, we have weeks of that. We have like days of that in the first like week before the kids come in, and it's like I cannot sit there and just listen to somebody without doodling, without drawing,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are like that. They say Roosevelt was like that. They say Obama was like that. A lot of famous people were like that. You need to actively listen by doodling, whether it's just making shapes and op art, like
Yeah.
sketches. But I draw other stuff. So yeah, we're constantly sketching, drawing. You got to keep doing that. For me, I'm doing it with a purpose, and life drawing is so much fun now for me because I'm going to be trying to go to do some life drawing here and there. Now that I live in this little town called Nyack in Rockland County, and they have weekly life drawing here at one of these local art
Ooh,
centers. But
sweet.
but instead of going in and drawing like some models or some lady or whatever, and then you walk home and you have a picture in your pad of a sketch that you did, and you're building skill, but then what do you do with that pad? Well, you just keep it in your effects until you die, right? Wrong.
Mhm.
What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making those into characters as I draw them. I'm using the model who's in the position and checking out the lighting and the composition and all that stuff. But I'm actually going to be putting like a helmet on them and drawing goggles and giving them a rifle, and going to be making them characters in my thing. And if somebody walks over to me and says, "Well, what's that?" I'm gonna have a lot of explaining to do, but but
Well,
that's what
I've
I
done that. I've done that before. I've actually suggested um, the model have a prop.
right.
Whether it's like a broom handle or even just anything like a book. So then it adds that there's an element that gets added into their pose.
Yeah,
But then you can actually build right over the top of it. One gal, she came in with the rabbit ear, not rabbit, cat ear,
yeah,
like a
clip
ski
on.
cap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, 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 no. It was like it was cold out. It was winter, and then she had just the kitty hat. So she had already this like like she was a cat, a lady, right? So I just spoke up. I said, "Is there any way to have the model keep the hat on?" And everybody was looking at me, and of course I was good with the moderator, and
a
she's like, "Yes,"
gasp went
and the
around the
model,
room.
yeah, like that is so anti art.
Radical.
And she and the model I knew too, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on. I'm keeping it on." And so she kept it on, and she started actually projecting herself as this character. I mean, there was nothing there, but I went to town. And of course, during breaks, everybody was coming over to see what I was working on, and
Right.
most people knew I was a comic book artist, so they knew what I was up to. But yeah, completely with you on that, Jake. Just launch padding off of spending your time, drawing from life, which is a good structural building thing, in your skills, but then to take it to another level and use it And character building is
Yeah, and
perfect.
everybody knows what I'm talking about. Like if you're an artist, you have those pictures of in your pad of some flabby old lady that you drew, and you got good skills translating what you're looking at into into art, into drawing. But but meanwhile you're never going to do anything with that. So um that's one other thing. So Kurt, let's change gears a little bit while we still have some time on the
Okay.
clock.
Okay.
So it's been 2 weeks. What movies have you checked out?
Oh gosh. So tonight, I was supposed to do it last night, but just didn't have the energy to sit all the way through a movie. Um, Legion of Iron. So
Okay,
I don't have I have I do a Tumblr. I scroll
I
through
could
a
hear the
Tumblr
music. I
usually in the
could hear the
morning.
music now. Bump bump
Oh my gosh.
bum.
And so, in Tumblr they do those animated GIFs from scenes and stuff. And I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing this and I'm like, what the heck is it? It looks like, it's a barbarian with a shield, but he's coming out of like a metal doorway and everything. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? And immediately Google search because I can see it says Legion of Iron 1990, and I find it then on Amazon. So I'm gonna jump over to Amazon tonight after watching
Is
some
that
other
Julie
stuff. More,
Strain? She looks like Julie
I
Strain.
yeah, no, I don't believe so because this 19.
It's like
Well,
a Patrick
she'd have been
Swayze
really.
lookalike and a Julie
It's
Strain
it
lookalike.
is just everything good in the world when it comes to post-apocalyptic barbarian 80s, late 80s, early 90s B movie exploit. I mean, it's just a really,
So
really,
you
really
haven't
great.
seen it though, but you haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it, so I should have a report on it for next week. So tonight, that is my homework. But I'm also on the fence. I can't find anywhere online a copy of Metal Storm. One word, Metal
Yeah,
Storm. I think
you told me about that one.
1987. I had discussed this earlier. I've been just searching for somewhere online. Nobody. So there's a good chance I'm going to have to drop $20 on a DVD, which my birthday's
Wow.
coming soon. So I will have the opportunity
Well, you
to
could always
use that as an
resell it.
excuse.
Always
And
resell
yeah,
it and get
exactly.
15 back, right?
10 if I'm lucky.
Well,
10 and
eBay,
gouge them on 10 and
eBay
gouge
fee,
them on shipping.
eBay fees.
but
I'm doing a lot of eBay. The fees are astronomical now. I
But
sold.
I think what was happening in the late '80s, early '90s when it came to straight to VHS B movie apocalypse and barbarian stuff was I think they were personally finding that people were getting more and more and more and more tired of seeing the same things. Conan the Barbarian meets Mad Max, Arnold Schwarzenegger meets
I'm
Mel
not
Gibson.
tired.
Just trying to.
Are
I
you
know, I
tired?
know, I
I'm not
know.
tired.
I'm no, but I think they start taking like crazy chances. Like they just
Yeah.
it was a Jim Warnowski, I believe his name is. If I mispronounced it, I'll try to create a better pronunciation in a flash right now over the screen. But he was the one. One of my favorite B movies is Empire, the Lost Empire. And that's just like it's like a bunch of string scenes of nonsense. It starts off with ninjas and Raven Delacroix in there as this Indian shamanist guy. It's just, that's what I love. That's what I love. So
Well,
I'm really anticipating
I
checking these
watched.
out.
Yeah, I checked out this YouTube video of. It was like I wrote it down somewhere, but I gotta come across it wherever I find it. But it was great. It was like 10 underrated B movies that you might want to see. There were either Conan ripoff. Yeah, they were all like Conan ripoffs, and they had a couple of movies that I know that you know about already, but maybe a couple that you didn't. And they were explaining some of the backstory on them, and some of the story on them was like a movie went into production, and then it got canceled midway, and then they took the footage and they they tried to repurpose it for a completely
Yeah,
other movie, right?
yeah, Roger
Or
Corman. Yeah, Roger Corman.
right, or a TV show, right? And so some of the things that you see on the screen, it's just incomprehensible. But it's that's how it all got to be that way. I checked out a recommendation from you, the Savage Seven. So that was a B movie about a motorcycle gang.
It was really
And
about the leader. It's really about the leader. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, yeah, it's about biker gangs, and it's about kind of like this conflict between this, Native American shanty village and this like rowdy biker gang that comes and invades, and like this company man, this company that owns the local economy. It's like just like agriculture peasants and stuff, and everybody owes the company money. So I checked it out and I loved it, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a really bad movie. So people should know what you're getting into here. And the funniest thing to me was during the credits, because who's in there but a very very young Penny Marshall, which people
God, yeah.
probably know from Laverne and Shirley. But it was all a Dick Clark production, and his name is all over everything. And the 70s, or what was it, 68 or 70 or something like that. This, people need to know. I mean, I guess people know if you watch anything from that time, that the context is that racism was alive and well, and it was celebrated in these movies. All of these, it starts out with like, some guy, they're calling people derogatory words for Indians, and or just like just the fact that they call them Indians is now different. But this was all sanctioned, in those days. And there was like, it wasn't like an adult movie, but there was lots of suggested promiscuity and a lot of like threats of, sexual violence. And, then there was all this like fight scenes and ass kicking, and it really delivered.
Yeah.
Considering it was such a low budget movie made in this little like shanty town, that was actually filmed, and they just like broke all like they piled cardboard boxes up and then have a motorcycle driving through it. And it was just like then they a couple of explosions here and there, and ruining buildings, and just having fun, just like. But just in today's lens, it would be considered like highly appropriate for all the racist and misogynist comments and the sexism and everything. It's just, total like time capsules that we're talking about. Um, when I was done with that, my YouTube autoplay stayed on, and it fed me this movie, Hellcats.
Yes. Oh my God, you watched that?
But that was very disappointing.
Yeah, but
I
it was
tried
still
to watch
fun.
it. Now it has
Oh,
one of the greatest posters ever, because it
yeah.
shows this biker chick in this poster with like an eye patch on, and she's swinging a chain, and you see
Yeah.
all these bikers in the background. And I can safely presume, to our audience right now, that that poster was made first and then the movie
Yep.
was an afterthought, because the movie was highly disappointing. I didn't even get through it. It was a snoozer. There was not that
Really?
many. Yeah, there was only like one female riding bikes. I mean, the parts that I saw, everybody else was like male bike guys. There was this corrupt business guy, you know, just like, the woman on the inside, and, there's like this smuggling operation or whatever it was. I don't know. It just lost me real quick. I, I, I have the poster. That's the crazy thing. I have a copy of this poster, which I'm going to eBay one of these days, or yeah, and the like little fold out poster, one of the greatest posters. Maybe you could flash it up on the screen. But the
Oh,
Hellcats,
absolutely.
yeah, and yeah, definitely not as good. But I was getting fed, the same genre, the biker exploitation movies, one after the other, and so that's that's my update. I don't think I saw any sci-fi since Atlas. And we spoke about Atlas in a previous episode, right? The J Lo.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, I haven't been watching too many B movies, but I saw those two, one and a half, if you want to say, and and I saw some YouTubes. So the next one I want to do is the Sapphire and Steel that you were talking about with
Yeah.
Joanna Lumley, and like a throwback to like a kind of a Doctor Who meets um, you know
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows. Yeah, right. So I'm gonna see if I can catch up on that one. But that is our, I guess, B movie update. We did a sketch update. Oh, San Diego update. So next week, I think, is the San Diego Con, or later this month. Yeah, I think it's about maybe like 8 days off or a week off. And I'm getting a lot of emails. Meet us at the San Diego Con. Different people I follow. I'll be at table number 6023. But one interesting headline I saw was that there was kind of like a boycott movement going around
Oh
because
boy.
apparently the hotels all around San Diego have been gouging. The San Diego Con has become a victim of its own success, and
Yep.
they are really starting to just like hammer away at these room rates, and so so you can't go in from out of town and stay over and see this damn thing. Um, we know that airline you know flights fluctuate as it is, so you could be spending like $1,000 between just flying over there and staying in a room for one night, or maybe more. And that isn't worth it for the average comic nerd, I don't think. So you might just have.
There's a. I don't know how many East Coasters are really jumping on that show because there's so many like Big Apple Con and there's so many big shows out here on the East Coast that you would survive not going to San Diego. But if you're out in the West Coast, even as a creative, San Diego is not really even the biggest place you want to go as a creative anymore. There's another show. It's called Lightbox, and that's all more just the creator side of things and stuff. So as a spectator, if you go to Lightbox, you're gonna run into a lot more about the creativity process of making comics and movies and animation and such. But even if you're young, inspiring, or even old, trying to stay afloat, creator, those are the shows that I would recommend that you try to find out as something that's more of a trade show towards the economics of being in the creative arts and the directions that they're focusing in on
Yeah,
going and stuff
Lightbox.
like that.
What Kurt's talking about is Lightbox Expo, October 25th,
Yeah.
26th, 27th, in Pasadena, and it's your artists and animators and production people. It's a little more behind the scenes. The San Diego Con, though, I mean, one thing that it has accomplished is it has become this real kind of like place to make you know press releases. This real place for all the movie
Well, for the
studios to.
movies,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
for the release.
And
It's the release of those Marvel movies.
yeah,
That's
and
really what.
if you're like an extra, from a Star Wars movie, and you want to set up your table, that's the place to go. You'll have a line of people, that all want your autograph, and and your screenshot of your frame that you're in the movie, your two frames that you're in the movie. Um, but but yeah, I mean that isn't this the thing? I mean, you mentioned Big Apple Con. Big Apple Con has gotten too big too. It's gotten so big
Yeah,
that
that's the
people
problem.
don't even go. And yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people that are going. I mean, it's sold out. But that's the reason why people like me can't go, because it's $60. It's elbow to elbow. It's like an hour line. If you wanted to go to any of the various attractions or tables or anything. And and there's plenty of people that are willing to put up with that, and a lot of parents that bring kids to there, as you always like to point out. But you know, you lose the other people, the people that just want to have like, I want to like dig through some crates, and I want to talk to a couple of people, and see some new things, get some exposure. So that's why there's such a rise now of the indie cons, right? They call it creator
Yep.
con or indie con, or you're seeing all that kind of stuff. So
Well, I
there's
submitted. I submitted to IC3 for us, so I'm still waiting on whether
that's
we're
fine.
in or not. I think there was something said about July, that we would get some kind of like notification whether we're in or not. But it'd be nice if we get in. If not, I still think I'm going to go,
Attend.
just to say
Yeah.
hi to people and show my face and, you know, put a human to the voice. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we are over the 45-minute mark there. Jake, do you have anything that you want to close out with? Because I'm all good here. Let these people get back to reading comics, making
No,
them
I
if they
just wanted to.
choose.
Yeah, I just wanted people to notice that I'm in the closing moments here of page 19. So I did a little work since we didn't meet last week on this page, where Turbo is trying to make her way into. And I'll show down here. Turbo's trying to make her way past all these armed ruffians to get into the orphanage. They're trying to get the package off of her. She's just blasting caps here, and then here we're going to see now Sister Ray. She's being held on the altar, and Turbo is going to be blasting her way in here. And here, this guy is trying to question Sister Ray and find out where the peas are all hidden, and he's getting his face blown off, his face blown apart.
Head blown up.
Yeah. So I'm just about to jump on to the next page, but I'm at that stage here to where, like, I'm kind of leaving a few things out, and I'm doing this on purpose and walking away because the next time I pick up this page, I'll be like, oh, that needs this. Oh, that right there, right. Um, and I also do that. I also do that with the dialogue a little bit here too. I move this here. This says Turbo. They're all over. Give me the package. It's no use. She's on sheer instinct. She's going in hot. But I have a space here for a dialogue here too. So I'm just keeping this open because when I look at it with fresh eyes, I'm going to be like, oh, this needs a little more clarity. Some explanation there. So yeah, I'm going to be starting page 20, which means that I'm going to be getting my rough sketch book out first, my rough pad out first, and let me see, just to refresh myself, how far I got on that. Here's my rough pad for the past page, and now do I have a? I think you just yes, I
Uh-oh.
did. Look.
Oh, shoo! Woo.
So this is going to be in the scene here. We're going to see Turbo blasting away with Sister Ray, and she's going to be kind of like shooting all the people here around the periphery. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, and then getting her free. But before she can, there's going to be a standoff where this guy's putting a gun or a knife right to her head, and Turbo is going to take the shot. That's when Sister Ray is going to say, "Turbo, lower your weapon, like we practiced." And then Turbo's going to lower her weapon and then shoot the guy from like a lower position. so
Nice.
yeah, then she's going to be conveying the information that she needs about the package, take it to the prison where Elevena is, and this is going to be the first she hears of Elevena and first she hears of the prison, and then she's going to say, "Get out of here," because we know what Sister Ray is going to do. She's going to blow everything sky high. So that's where we're at, and folks, thanks for bearing with us with another episode. Check out Comics That Influence. Check out the Creator Exchange. Kurt updated you on who we're going to be talking to in the next couple days. And we'll see you right back here next Sunday. Or if you're watching this in the future, just binge watch and hit next so you can see the episode after this one.
Awesome. See you next Sunday, Jake.
All right. Bye, all.